Right. Good morning, students. In the last class, we have discussed about certain basics of complex algebra and how to write the loop closure equation for three mechanisms. Namely, one is inline slider crank mechanism, offset slider crank mechanism, and also for 4-bar mechanism. And if I recall the last class, the basics which we dealt in complex algebra, one should remember the important relations, namely three. One is equation 1, e power I theta is equal to cos theta plus I sin theta. Second, I e power I theta is equal to e power I of theta plus pi by 2. And how to represent a link in any given mechanism in the form of a vector. How to represent the link, how to represent vector for a link, that is using r into e power I theta. Simply if you write for each link r into e power I theta, that itself is the vector representation, because in which small r represents the magnitude and theta represents the position of the vector. So these are the three important relations to be remembered. First point, what is one? It is e power I theta is equal to cos theta plus I sin theta. Second, I into e power I theta is equal to e power I of theta plus pi by 2. Third, any link will be represented by means of a vector in complex number which is equal to r into e power I theta, in which r, that is small r, represents a magnitude and theta is the position of the vector. This is the first three things which you have to remember from the basics of complex algebra equation. Next, we had discussed the loop closure equation. So the statement of loop closure equation, followed by how to write the loop closure equation for 4-bar mechanism, inline slider crank mechanism, and offset slider crank mechanism. So you have to find the relative position vectors for each link and you have to add them so that sum of the relative position vectors of all the links in a given mechanism is equal to 0. That is what the loop closure equation. Now today I am going to derive the important derivation which you may expect not only for the internal, for the even end examination point of view also. Now what is it? Now what is that derivation? The name of the topic itself says. What is the name of our topic? Velocity and acceleration analysis of mechanisms. That is by analytical method. Now what is the analytical method which we are going to use? Complex algebra method. Therefore, now today I am going to derive one important derivation, that is how to determine or how to find velocity and acceleration of a slider crank mechanism using a complex algebra, where this approach has been given by Raven's approach. Therefore, you please remember, you have to practice this derivation, because definitely it is going to come even in the end examination also. If you are thorough with this derivation, later on only just taking the expressions which we derive, with that you can solve the problem. Now, before beginning the derivation, now what are all the assumptions I have made? what are the notations I have used and what I am going to find in the derivation, I am just listed out. Now, A is, because it is a slide crank mechanism, as you know that there is one fixed link, crank is the second link, connecting rod is the third link, and slider is the fourth link. So, in slide crank mechanism, A or simply A bar, which represents the length of crank or the relative position vector of crank. Small a is nothing but the length of the crank or radius of the crank, or if I represent the small a in a vector form, then it is A bar. Then it will be called as relative position vector of the crank. So A means length of crank or radius of crank. A bar is the relative position vector of the crank. One or the other same. Only thing is, small a means without vector, small a dash means it is the vector representation of the same. Similarly, B or B dash is nothing but length of the connecting rod, or it is the relative position vector of the link connecting rod. Then D or D bar is nothing but displacement of the slider, or sometimes in reciprocating engine it is called as a piston. Therefore, displacement of the slider or displacement of the piston, that is nothing but D or D bar. So these are the three links dimensions: crank A, connecting rod B, and slider displacement is D. And next, theta 2 is the crank angle, and theta 3 is the connecting rod angle. Alpha 3 is called angular acceleration. Alpha 2 is angular acceleration of crank, and alpha 3 is the angular acceleration of connecting rod. And V suffix C notation I am using here, that is velocity of slider or piston, and A suffix C is the velocity of slider or the piston. Slider or the piston. Now, these are the notations which you are going to see in my derivation. Theta 2 is what? Crank angle. Theta 3 is connecting rod angle. So alpha 2, alpha means rate of change of angular velocity, is giving angular acceleration. That is alpha 2, which is the angular acceleration of crank, and alpha 3 similarly it is the angular acceleration of the connecting rod. And V and A, V suffix C is the velocity of slider or the piston, and A suffix C is the acceleration of slider or the piston. Both here VC, velocity means by default it is linear velocity, and A suffix C is the acceleration, means it is linear acceleration. Now these are the notations. Here we have to assume that in the derivation of velocity and acceleration of a slider crank mechanism, we have to assume that theta 2 will be given. Therefore, theta 2, what is theta 2? Crank angle is known. You must remember theta 2 is known, means if at all the problem is asked, theta 2 will be given. And alpha 2, that is angular acceleration of crank, is 0, because we assume that crank is rotating at uniform speed or constant speed. Therefore, when theta 2 is constant, rate of change of theta 2 with respect to t is nothing but alpha 2. So that is going to become 0. Hence, angular acceleration of crank, that is alpha 2, is 0 because of the uniform angular velocity of the crank. Next, the objective here. So you must remember theta 2 will be given and alpha 2 is equal to 0 because of uniform speed. Therefore, if I assume these two, theta 2 is known and alpha 2 is equal to 0, then my objective is to find in the derivation the total velocity and acceleration components of slider crank mechanism. Mainly velocity of slider and acceleration of slider. Right, so the total velocity and acceleration components of slider crank mechanism is our objective to derive in this derivation, that is in the today's class. Now let us start the derivation. Now, as I said very clearly, it is the derivation of velocity and acceleration of a slider crank mechanism using complex algebra, as it is also this method of finding velocity and acceleration is also called as Raven's approach. Now look at, first let us consider a slider crank mechanism in a plane having horizontal axis is the real axis and vertical axis is the imaginary axis. Let A bar or A be the length of the crank or the radius of the crank, and theta 2 is the angle of the crank which it makes with the real axis, and always theta 2 here I have measured theta 2, that is angle of the crank, in the anti-clockwise direction. Means, remember students, I am taking the anti-clockwise measurements as positive and clockwise measurements as negative. This is the point which you have to remember. So let us consider a slider crank mechanism in a plane having horizontal axis as real axis and the vertical axis is the imaginary axis. Let theta 2 be the angle which I am going to measure in anti-clockwise direction with respect to real axis, and in the same direction I am going to represent the vector from A to B, and I will take it as a bar or A, which is the length of the crank or the radius of the crank. Similarly, let theta 3 be the angle made by the connecting rod that I should measure in anti-clockwise direction. So that I have measured it, and in the same direction I am representing a position vector that I called it as B bar. So B bar is the relative position vector of BC bar. A bar is the relative position vector of the link AB, that is AB bar, and D, small d or D bar is the relative position vector of the slider or the displacement of the slider or the piston. D or D bar is the displacement of the piston. Now you see, instead of C to A, the vector is represented in opposite direction, that is from A to C. So what I did in the beginning, after measuring theta 2 anti-clockwise, from the point A, I just indicated the arrow towards B, that is A bar. So AB link whose relative position vector is A bar. Similarly, with respect to point B in anti-clockwise, I measured theta 3, and from the same point towards the another point I indicated the arrow, that is B bar. But from the point C, instead of moving towards A, I just indicated the position of the vector from A to C. A to C, that is in opposite direction, which is the displacement vector of slider, or small d, which is the displacement of the piston. Now, after representing the vectors, let us assume omega 2 is the angular velocity of the crank which rotates in anti-clockwise direction. So all, you please remember, all anti-clockwise measurements are positive, clockwise are negative. After just mentioning, after indicating all the position vectors along with the angles theta 2, theta 3, now let us assume angular velocity of the crank, or let us assume the crank AB or the link 2 of the slider crank mechanism is rotating in anti-clockwise direction with a uniform velocity in anti-clockwise direction, that is omega 2, which you can see in the figure. And in the same direction, if I differentiate d omega 2 with respect to time, I am going to get angular acceleration of the crank, that is equal to 0, as I said already in the previous slide. Now let us represent separately the vector representation. You can see one more figure here, A, C, B. AB is the crank whose position vector is A bar, that is from A to B. BC is the crank whose position vector is B bar, and AC is one more, which gives the displacement of the piston or the slider. Now, after representing vectors in the diagram like this, from this diagram one can write the loop closure equation. So what is the loop closure equation? The sum of the relative position vectors of all the links in a mechanism is equal to 0. Now A bar is the relative position vector of AB bar, AB link. B bar is the relative position vector of BC link, and D bar is equal to relative position vector of AC. Now sum of all these position vector is equal to 0. That is the statement of the loop closure equation. Thereby, now beginning from the point A to B, A bar, and B to C, that is B bar. Both are positive, because from A I am beginning towards B, it is in anti-clockwise, then B to C also in same anti-clockwise, but instead of C to A, here the position vector of link AC is in opposite direction, therefore minus D bar. Suppose if I indicate in opposite direction C to A, then I should take here A bar plus B bar instead of minus D bar plus D bar. But here, as far as the derivation is considered, you follow the same thing. A bar and B bar both are positive because both are in the same direction, whereas D bar is in opposite direction, therefore minus. So A bar plus B bar minus D bar is equal to 0. Or that is equal to here minus D bar. If I take it on the other side, then I can write D bar is equal to A bar plus B bar. That you call it as equation 1. What is this equation 1? Equation 1 is the loop closure equation for a slider crank mechanism. What kind of slider crank mechanism it is? Inline slider crank mechanism, because the base pivot point of the crank and the slider both are on the same line. There is no any eccentricity or offset distance. So you have to write the first loop closure equation. That I wrote it. What is the loop closure equation here? D bar is equal to A bar plus B bar. That you call it as equation number 1. But what is this A bar, B bar, D bar? These are the three relative position vectors which can be represented using complex numbers, which can be represented in vectors using a complex numbers. So D bar is equal to, I can write D into e power I theta 1. So D bar, what is it? D bar is the relative position vector of the slider with respect to the fixed link A, where theta 1 is 0 because slider is making with respect to 0 degrees. So therefore D bar is equal to small d into e power I theta 1. where d into e power I theta 1, I can write it as cos theta 1 plus I sin theta 1. That is equal to, I'll write simply small d because theta 1 is 0. What is theta 1? It is the angle made by the slider with respect to the point O. So it is perfectly horizontal because both are in line with each other. So theta 1 is equal to 0. Simply you remember d bar is equal to d only finally, after representing that vector in exponential or complex number in polar form. Next, a bar can be written as, it is the relative position vector of the link AB, that is equal to, in general, we just now I told in the beginning, I told the three expressions to be remembered, how to represent any link in a vector form, r into e power I theta. Here it is a bar, therefore I wrote instead of r, a. Instead of e power I theta, it is e power I theta 2. Why theta 2? Because it is the relative position vector of the link 2, that is crank. That is why here I wrote it as theta 2. So a into e power I theta 2 is the vector representation of a bar, which is equal to a as it is because it is the magnitude into, now e power I theta 2 can be written as cos theta 2 plus I sin theta 2. But I cannot put this is equal to a because theta 2 is not equal to 0. So let us keep it as it is. Next, b bar is equal to b into e power I theta 3. So that is equal to b into, instead of e I theta 3, I can write cos theta 3 plus I sin theta 3. Like that. So you have to write these vectors in polar form using complex numbers. So remember, d bar is equal to d, no doubt about it, because it is the theta 1 is equal to 0. What is theta 1? It is the angle made by the slider with respect to the link 1 or the point A. As the point A, which is one end of the crank or the base pivot point of the crank, is in line with the slider, hence theta 1 is equal to 0. Therefore, you remember d bar is always equal to d. You need not to remember, substitute, and again you have to say theta 1 is equal to 0. So d bar is equal to d. What is d? Displacement of the slider or piston in a reciprocating engine. And a bar is equal to a into cos theta 2 plus I sin theta 2. B bar is equal to b of b into cos theta 3 plus I sin theta 3. Like that, after representing, you substitute these values in equation 1. In equation 1. In doing so, d bar is equal to d, that is equal to a bar, that is a of cos theta plus I sin theta 2 plus b bar is equal to b into cos theta 3 plus I sin theta 3. So now you call it as equation number 3. So after substituting, d bar is equal to a bar plus b bar, which is equal to a into e power I theta 2 plus b I theta 3. That I called it as equation 2. Then further, a e I power theta 2 can be written as a into cos theta 2 plus I sin theta 2. b e power I theta 3 is equal to b into cos theta 3 plus I sin. That you call it as equation number 3. Now here I am going to find one by one, because I know only theta 2, which is the crank angle, that will be given, and alpha 2 is equal to 0 because the crank is rotating at constant speed or a uniform speed. Therefore, I should find out first what is the angle made by the connecting rod. So to find connecting rod angle, what is the connecting rod angle? In the figure you can see that is theta 3. So to find theta 3, what I do, I will equate the real and imaginary part of equation 3. So you consider equation 3, again I wrote it here, d is equal to a cos A of cos theta 2 plus I sin theta 2 plus B of cos theta 3 plus I sin theta 3. So by equating the real and imaginary parts of the equation 3, just now we got it in the previous slide, one can find the angle of the connecting rod. What is the angle of the connecting rod? Theta 3. So first you have to find the angles. So theta 2 is known, theta 1 anyhow I told 0, theta 2 is known, so I don't know the theta 3. Therefore first I am beginning to find the theta 3. To find theta 3, take equation number 3 and equate the real and imaginary parts. So if I equate the real part, so what is the real part on the left hand side? Small d, because small d is the real part. There is no imaginary part on the left hand side. So if I equate the real part on left hand side, real part is d, that is equal to, on the right hand side, a cos theta 2 is the real part and b cos theta 3 is real part. Both are positive. Plus a cos theta 2 plus b cos theta 3. That is equal to d, which is the real part after equating from equation 3. Right. From this further what I can write, b cos theta 3 is equal to, so I can take a cos theta 2 on left hand side, then it will be d minus a cos theta 2. That you call it as equation number 4. So equation number 4 I got it by equating the real part and simplifying. Similarly, equate the imaginary part on both sides of the equation 3. So on the left hand side of the equation 3, what is the imaginary part? 0. So therefore 0 is equal to, on the right hand side I have two terms of imaginary. One is a sin theta 2 plus b sin theta 3, that is equal to 0, from which I can find b sin theta 3 is equal to minus a sin theta 2. That you call it as equation number 5. So equation 4 I got it by equating real part of equation 3, and equation 5 I got it by equating the imaginary part of the equation 3. Now from equation 5 I can write sin theta 3 is equal to minus a by b into sin theta 2. From this theta 3 is equal to, I can write sin inverse of whole thing which is on the right hand side, that is minus a by b into sin theta 2. So what is theta 3? That is nothing but the connecting rod angle, where it is to be calculated using this expression. So theta 3 is equal to sin inverse of minus a by b into sin theta 2. Here a is the crank radius or the crank length and b is the length of the connecting rod, and theta 2 is the angle made by the crank. All three will be known, then I can get the connecting rod angle. Similarly, next find the angular velocity of the connecting rod and the velocity of the slider. So here now theta 2 is known, theta 3 just now I can calculate. So all angles are known. Now I should find velocity components. What are they? Two velocities. One is velocity of the slider and another one is angular velocity of the connecting rod, because connecting rod will oscillate, will revolve. Therefore the velocity is called as an angular velocity because it is a rotating, oscillating component or revolving component. So angular velocity, connecting rod, you are going to get angular velocity, whereas the slider is sliding on the line of stroke. Therefore the velocity, that is nothing but linear velocity of the slider. So remember, first theta 3 I got it. Next I should find velocity. One is velocity of the slider and another one is angular velocity of the connecting rod. To find the velocities, you have to remember, immediately you should get in mind that I should differentiate the equations 4 and 5 with respect to time, because what is our equation 3? Equation 3 is nothing but displacement. So now what I do, I will just take the equation 4 and equation 5, because equation 4 and 5 I got it from equation 3. What is that equation 3? Displacement. If I differentiate the displacement with respect to time once, I am going to get velocity. Therefore, instead of taking equation 3 and differentiating, then further separating real and imaginary part, directly I am taking the real part and imaginary part of the equation 3. They are nothing but equation 4 and 5. Now I should differentiate the equations 4 and 5 with respect to time. If I take the equation 4, what is that equation 4? B cos theta 3 is equal to D minus A cos theta 2. Now look at B, anyhow it is constant. Cos theta 3, differentiation of cos theta 3, cos theta, it is minus sin theta. Therefore, cos theta 3 is equal to minus sin theta 3 into d by dt of theta 3, that is theta 3 dash. That is equal to d. What is d? It is the displacement of the slider. If I differentiate the displacement of the slider with respect to time, I am going to get velocity. But what is our notation of velocity? Vc minus as it is, then A as it is. I am going to write now cos theta 2, differentiation of cos theta 2 is minus sin theta 2 into d by dt of t2, theta 2, that is theta 2 dash. Now if I simplify, it will be minus b omega theta 3, I can write it as omega 3, because theta 3 dash is nothing but rate of change of angular displacement with respect to time of the connecting rod. Theta is angular displacement. If I differentiate, theta dash it is. Theta dash means it is angular velocity. Angular velocity of which link? 3. 3 indicates connecting rod. Therefore, theta 3 dash is nothing but omega 3, which is the angular velocity of the crank, into sin theta 3 is equal to Vc, here minus into minus plus, A into theta 2 dash. Theta 2 dash is the angular velocity of crank, that is equal to omega 2. So, A omega 2 into sin theta 2. Now, minus b omega 3 sin theta 3, if I bring a omega 2 sin theta 2 on the left hand side, then it will be minus, and Vc also towards left hand side minus. All right hand side terms I brought it to the left hand side, then that is equal to 0. That is equation 6. How I got the equation 6? By differentiating the equation 4 once with respect to time. Similarly, take the equation 5 and differentiate it. B as it is into sin theta 3. Sin theta, differentiation of sin theta is cos theta, which is plus. So, sin theta 3 means cos theta 3 into d by dt of theta 3 is theta 3 dash. That is equal to minus a as it is into sin theta 2, differentiation is plus cos theta 2 into d by dt of theta 2, that is theta 2 dash. Now b into theta 3 dash is nothing but, once again omega 3 I am substituting, into cos theta 3 is equal to minus a into, in place of theta 2 dash one can write omega 2. So therefore minus a omega 2 cos theta 2. So further bringing this right hand side term to the left hand side, then equation will be a omega 2 cos theta 2, which becomes positive after bringing to the LHS, plus already there is one LHS term, plus it is plus b omega 3 cos theta 3, entire thing is equal to 0. That is 7. So 7 is the equation which I got it by differentiating the equation 5. And 6 is the equation which I got by differentiating the equation 4. So now I should solve equation 6 and 7. So in order to solve the equation 6 and 7, I should multiply equation 6 by cos theta 3, and here because I want velocity, so in order to eliminate, in order to find the velocity, what I do here, I will eliminate theta 3 from the two equations. In order to eliminate theta 3, so what I should do, so I should multiply equation 6 by cos theta 3. In doing so, what is cos equation 6? Here. So minus a omega 2 sin theta 2 into cos theta 3. Next, if I multiply the b omega 3 sin theta 3 with cos theta 3 minus b omega 3 sin theta 3 cos 3 minus vc into cos theta 3 is equal to 0 into anything is 0. So like that, multiply equation 6 with cos theta 3. Then you call it as equation number 8. Next, multiply the equation 7 by sin theta 3. So then it will be a omega 2 cos theta 2 into sin theta 3 plus b omega 3 cos theta 3 into sin theta 3 is equal to 0 into sin theta 3 is 0. So now I got equations 8 and 9. And if I solve, how to solve? I have to add. If I add minus b omega 3 plus b omega 3, these two terms are going to cancel. Then from this, so after cancelling, minus b omega 3 sin theta 3 cos theta 3 plus b omega 3 sin theta 3 cos theta 3, I left with a omega 2, which is common in both the terms. I just took it outside. Then it will be sin theta 3 cos theta 2 minus, it is minus sin theta 2 cos theta 3, that is equal to vc cos theta 3 plus 0 is vc cos theta 3. Now a omega 2, now sin theta 3 cos theta 2 minus sin theta 2 cos theta 3. This whole term inside the bracket is in the form of sin A cos B minus cos A sin B, which can be written as sin of A minus B. But in our equation, A is nothing but theta 3, B is nothing but theta 2. Therefore, A omega 2 of sin of theta 3 minus theta 2 is equal to V cos theta 3. Like that, one can write it. So once from this, what I can do, I can find the velocity of the slider, that is Vc. So from this diagram, Vc is equal to now a omega 2 into sin of theta 3 minus theta 2 by cos theta 3, where this is equation number 10, which gives the velocity of the piston or the velocity of the slider. That is what our one of the thing which is to be determined in the derivative part. So now this is velocity of the piston. Similarly, from equation 7, so I can write a omega 2 cos theta 2 is equal to minus b omega 3 cos theta 3. Here a is known, omega 2 is known, theta 2 is known, b is known, and theta 3 is known. So only unknown is omega 3. So from this I can calculate omega 3 is equal to minus a omega 2 into cos theta 2 by b cos theta 3, where this omega 3 is called as what? It is the angular velocity of one of the link. Which link? Connecting rod. Therefore, omega 3 gives the angular velocity of the connecting rod. Thereby I got Vc. What is Vc? It is linear velocity of the slider or simply velocity of the slider, and omega 3, which is the angular velocity of the connecting rod. Mainly I should know velocity of slider and velocity of the connecting rod. That is nothing but angular velocity of the connecting rod. That is omega 3. I can calculate. That is our second part of the derivation. What is the first part? Finding theta 3, because I know only theta 2. Because theta 2 is known, the one more angle which I don't know is theta 3. That is the connecting rod angle that I should find. That is first part. Second part, I should find velocity components. Means linear velocity of the slider, that is Vc, and angular velocity of the connecting rod, that is omega 3. Just now I got it. Next, the third part is I should find the acceleration components. Piston is sliding, therefore acceleration is linear acceleration of piston or simply acceleration of piston. And next, one more acceleration, that is for connecting rod, as it is oscillating or revolving or rotating rotational component or revolving component, therefore velocity is nothing but acceleration is nothing but angular acceleration of connecting rod. So I should find angular acceleration of connecting rod, that is alpha 3, and acceleration of piston A suffix C, that you can see in the first slide. To find acceleration, once again, what I do, it is very simple. To find velocity, what I did, I took the real and imaginary part of equation 3. They are 4 and 5. What I did 4 and 5, I differentiated equation 4 and 5 to get velocity. Now, I will take equation 6 and 7, because 6 and 7 are the real and imaginary part of velocity components. So, differentiate the equation 6 and 7 with respect to time. I am going to get acceleration. So, take the equation 6. I wrote it, equation 6 minus b omega 3 sin theta 3 minus a omega 2 sin theta 2 minus vc is equal to 0. If I differentiate this with respect to time, minus b as it is, because it is a constant. Now omega 3 sin theta 3. So in the form of uv. So therefore u into differentiation of v plus v into differentiation of u. Like that you must do it. So minus b u as it is, then differentiation of v is sin theta 3 means plus cos theta 3 into d by dt of theta 3 is theta t dash. So therefore minus b omega 3 cos theta 3 into theta 3 dash. Next, minus b as it is. Now v is constant, that is omega minus b into sin theta, v is constant, sin theta 3 into d by dt of omega 3, that is d omega 3 by dt is nothing but alpha 3. Next, similarly, minus a into omega 2 sin theta 2. Once again it is in the form of uv. u is omega 2, v is sin theta 2. u into d by dt of v plus v into d by dt of u. So minus a omega 2 sin theta 2, if I differentiate, cos theta 2 into theta 2 dash. Minus a into v constant now, sin theta 2 into, if I differentiate u, then d omega 2 by dt, which is nothing but rate of change of angular velocity of the crank with respect to time, that is alpha 2, minus v means what? Velocity. If I differentiate velocity, I am going to get acceleration. Minus AC is equal to 0. Now I should rearrange. So in place of theta 3, I will write it as omega 3. In place of omega 3 dash, I am going to write alpha 3. So in place of theta 2 dash, I will write omega 2. In place of velocity, I can write it as acceleration. Like that you differentiate, and so omega 3, then it will be minus a omega square cos. Just if you simplify, I am going to get equation number 11. Equation 11, how I got it? By differentiating equation 6. Next, taking the equation 7, which is the imaginary part of the equation. So that is equation 7, if I take, then it is a omega 2 cos theta 2 plus b omega 3 cos theta 3 is equal to 0. Here a is constant, omega 2 cos theta 2 is in the form of uv, plus b constant, omega 3 cos theta 3 is in the form of uv. So a into omega 2 as it is into cos theta 2, if I differentiate, minus sin theta 2 into d by dt of theta 2 is theta t dash. Then a as it is and cos theta 2 as it is, if I differentiate omega 2, d omega 2 by dt is nothing but alpha 2. plus once again b into, this is in the form of uv, omega 3 cos theta 3 is in the form of uv, so omega 3 is u and cos theta 3 is v. If I differentiate and simplify, I am going to get equation number 12. So like that, by differentiating equation 6 and 7, I am going to get equations 11 and 12. Now you multiply equation 11 with cos theta 3 and equation 12 with sin theta 3 as you did while solving equations 8 and 4. While solving equations 8 and 4, what I did? I multiplied equation 6 with cos theta 3 and equation 7 with sin theta 3. In the same way here, equation level 11, I am multiplying with cos theta 3 and equation 12 by sin theta 3. So if I multiply on both sides of equation 11, I am going to get equation 13. And if I multiply both sides with sin theta 3 of equation 12, I am going to get equation number 4. Now solve equations. Now to solve the equations 13 and 4, you must add. So adding equations 13 and 4 and cancelling the terms. So then I will be left with this. Then minus a omega 2 square. Now sin theta 2, sin theta 3, sin theta 2, sin A, sin B plus cos A, cos B, that is nothing but cos of A minus B, that is cos theta 3 minus theta 2 plus A alpha 2 and the term which is inside the bracket sin theta 3 cos theta 2 minus cos theta 3 sin theta 2, it is in the form of sin A cos B minus cos A sin B. That is nothing but sin of A minus B minus B omega 3 square, because the bracket inside this sin square theta plus cos square theta, that is going to become 1. Therefore 1 into B omega 3 square is nothing but minus B omega 3 square minus AC cos theta 3 is equal to 0. Now here take this AC cos theta 3 which is minus to the right hand side, then it will become minus A omega square into cos of theta 3 minus theta 2 plus A alpha 2 into sin of theta 3 minus theta 2 minus B omega 3 square is equal to AC cos theta 3. Now from this I will find AC because I know remaining all values, because A is known, alpha 2 is 0, theta 3 is known, theta 2 is known, omega 2 is known, omega 3 is known, B is known. Everything is unknown in this equation. Only unknown is AC. Therefore, AC, that is acceleration of slider or acceleration of piston, is equal to this. Similarly, from equation 12. So, what is that equation 12? Minus A omega square sin theta 2 plus A cos theta 2 alpha 2 minus B omega 3 square sin theta 3 plus B cos theta 3 alpha 3 is equal to 0. Now from this, because I got acceleration of slider, that is AC, then one more acceleration, that is angular acceleration of connecting rod, that is alpha 3 I should calculate. To find alpha 3, consider the equation 12 and in that except alpha 3 remaining everything is known. Therefore from that alpha 3 can be calculated, which is nothing but angular acceleration of connecting rod. Like that I got now the acceleration components. One is linear acceleration of piston and another one is angular acceleration of connecting rod. So this completes the derivation. Once again, for the sake of convenience, to solve the problems connected to this rider crank mechanism, so what I did, I have listed out the derivations. So outcome of derivations connecting rod angle theta 3. What is theta 3? Sine inverse of minus a by b sine theta 2. Angular velocity of connecting rod omega 3 is equal to minus a omega 2 cos theta 2 by b cos theta 3. And velocity of the slider Vc is equal to a omega 2 sine of theta 3 minus theta 2 by cos theta 3. And angular acceleration of connecting rod, that is alpha 3 is equal to a omega square sine theta 2 plus b omega 3 square sine theta 3 minus a cos theta 2 alpha 2 by b cos theta 3. And acceleration of slider AC is equal to a alpha 2 into sine of theta 3 minus theta 2 minus a omega square into cos of theta 3 minus theta 2 minus b omega 3 square by cos theta. You, whatever you have derived, you please list out the formulas. One is connecting rod angle, that is theta 3. Next, velocity of the slider Vc and angular velocity of the connecting rod, that is omega 3. Then second, acceleration. So that is acceleration of piston or the slider, that is AC. And fifth one is the angular acceleration of the connecting rod, that is alpha 3. Only 5 formulas you must list out and you must mug up to find the problems, to solve the problems, numericals on this velocity and acceleration. Now, after just telling only 5 formulas, what are they? Theta 3, connecting rod angle; Vc, velocity of the slider; omega 3, angular velocity of connecting rod; AC, that is acceleration of piston or slider. Then fifth one, angular acceleration of connecting rod, that is alpha 3. These 5 formulas you must list separately before taking a problem, and you must proceed then to the problems. So therefore, you need to mug up these 5 formulas. Suppose if at all you want to solve the problem on velocity and acceleration of mechanisms by analytical method. So these 5 formulas are fixed. Any configuration of inline slider crank mechanism, using these 5 formulas, one can solve the problem. Now I am taking one problem today and then I will conclude the class. I am solving here one model question paper problem. What is this model question paper problem? For the mechanism shown, n is equal to 250 rpm, find number 1, velocity of the piston and angular velocity of the connecting rod, and second, acceleration of the piston and angular acceleration of the connecting rod. This is the figure what he has given. Sometimes he may give the figures or not, but you have to remember 5 formulas. That is first point. Second point, you must remember clockwise should be taken as negative and anti-clockwise as positive. This is one, because the derivation what we derived all the 5 formulas, right? So taking anti-clockwise as positive and clockwise as negative. Suppose if at all in the statement if you find clockwise, that value should be substituted as negative, and if it is anti-clockwise, plus. So 2 things you have to, 3 points especially. First, you must by heart the 5 formulas. Second, remember anti-clockwise is positive and clockwise is negative. These are the sign conventions. And third is the figure of the slider crank mechanism may be given or may not be given, but one should not worry. So now in the problem, here the figure is also given. For the mechanism shown, n is equal to 250 rpm. Remember, by default, the speed whatever it is given is the speed of the crank. Therefore, speed of the crank, that is N2, is equal to 250 rpm. And you see, though he has not given in the statement, you can look at in the diagram, the direction of omega 2 is clockwise. Therefore, N2 is equal to 250 rpm, it is clockwise. One should identify. And theta 2 in the diagram, it is equal to 45. So it is plus 45 because anti-clockwise. Next, so what else I can list out other than this? Small a, that is length of the crank, is equal to 200 mm. That is equal to, I will convert this into meters on dividing with 1000. 200 by 1000, that is 0.2 meters. And next, b, length of the connecting rod, small b, that is equal to 1000 mm. Divided by 1000 if I do, I will get 1 meter. So I know the length of the crank, and I know the length of the connecting rod and the speed of the crank 250 rpm, which is clockwise, and the crank angle, that is theta 2, is equal to 45 degrees. Therefore, after listing what I should first, I will get ready. So here directly omega 2 may be given sometimes, here or the speed, linear speed will be given. Therefore, you find out angular velocity of the crank, that is omega 2 is equal to 2 pi n by 60. Here n is nothing but n2. So 2 pi into n2, 250 rpm, I substituted minus because it is clockwise. So 2 pi into minus 250 by 60 minus 26.2 radians per second. This is angular velocity of the crank, that is omega 2. So, and one more point to be remembered. So he may be given in the statement or he may not be. Constant speed or uniform velocity. The crank is rotating uniformly. The crank is rotating at a constant speed. If he mentions, does not mention, by default, remember that omega 2 is constant. Omega 2 is constant. Therefore, alpha 2 by default it becomes 0. Suppose if it is not uniform, definitely he will give the value of alpha 2. Remember, if it is constant, only omega 2 should be calculated if the speed is given, or directly omega 2 will be given. Then alpha 2 is by default 0. Suppose if the crank is not rotating at a uniform speed, it is at a non-uniform speed, then along with speed you must be given alpha 2 also. Please remember. So like that, first calculate omega 2, and here alpha 2 is not given. Therefore, assuming it is the crank is rotating at a uniform speed or constant speed, alpha 2 is equal to 0. Now take the first formula. What is our first formula? Connecting rod angle theta 3. So theta 3 is equal to sine inverse of minus a by b into sine theta 2. That is our from formula list. So theta 3 is equal to sine inverse of minus a by b into sine theta 2. So what is A is 0.2 and B is 1 and theta 2 is 45. So you substitute all these known values and simplify. I am going to get minus 8 degree. But in the diagram, if you see, theta 3 is the anti-clockwise measurement. So therefore, after getting this value, one should not forget subtracting it from 360 degrees. Then only it becomes theta 3. If you look at the diagram, we will come to know. So theta 3 is equal to, once again now, 360 minus 8, 352 degrees. Next, find the angular velocity of the connecting rod, that is omega 3. Just put the formula, get the answer. A is 0.2, omega 2 is, just now we calculated, it is minus 26.2. You should not forget, clockwise is negative, anti-clockwise is positive. And while substituting, you must take care. So, by substituting, I am going to get 3.742 radians per second. So, it is plus. Therefore, in the bracket, you write down anti-clockwise is the direction of the angular velocity of the connecting rod. After that, the velocity of the slider. So, after that, velocity of the slider. So velocity of the slider, our notation is Vc, which is equal to formula A omega 2 into sine of theta 3 minus theta 2 by cos theta 3. A is known 0.2, omega 2 is minus 26.2 into sine of theta 3 is 352 and theta 2 is 45. divided by cos theta 3 is cos 352. So if after substituting, simplifying, I am going to get 4.226 and units meter per second because it is a velocity. We have converted the given dimensions in meter, so therefore here velocity is meters per second and it is positive plus 4.2. In the bracket you write down, so away from the crank end means the velocity is away from the crank end. The slider is moving away from the crank end, then it is positive. Towards the crank end I must write if I get negative, like that. So velocity is to be calculated. After finding velocity, then the accelerations. First, angular acceleration of connecting rod, that is theta 3. Alpha 3. So what is alpha 3? Take the formula. Now after writing alpha 3, look at here. Alpha 2 is 0. Thereby the last term in the numerator, what is it? Minus a cos theta 2 alpha 2 is going to become 0. Thereby alpha 3 is equal to a omega square sin theta 2 plus b omega square sin theta 3 by b cos theta 3. Because alpha 2 is 0, if I substitute, this whole term in the numerator is going to become 0. Now substitute. A is 0.2, omega 2 is minus 26.2 whole square into sin theta 2 is sin 45 plus b is 1 into omega 3 square is 3.742 whole square into sin theta 3 is sin 352 divided by b cos theta is b is 1 into cos theta 3 is cos 352. If I simplify, I am going to get alpha 3, which is the angular acceleration of connecting rod, 96.0 something. So I just made it rounded off. So 96, it is angular acceleration. So radians per second square. Linear acceleration means meter per second square. So angular acceleration 96 radians per second square. It is positive, therefore in the bracket you write down anti-clockwise. Next, find the acceleration of slider, that is AC. Once again note down the formula. In that formula, first term which contains alpha 2 is going to become 0 because alpha 2 is 0. So you cancel the first term in the numerator, the remaining two terms if I write as it is divided by cos theta 3. Now that is our AC as alpha 2 is 0. Now substitute and simplify. I am going to get minus 97.6 meters per second square because this is linear acceleration. So linear velocity means meters per second. Angular velocity means radians per second. Acceleration means, that is linear acceleration, meter per second square. Angular acceleration is radians per second square. Like that one can solve a problem just directly. You must remember 5 formulas. First point. Second, sign conventions, anti-clockwise is positive and clockwise is negative. Third point, figure may be given or may not be given of the slider crank mechanism. And fourth point, first, while solving a problem, especially after listing the given things, first you must find omega 2 if it is not given by using the formula 2 pi n by 60, and alpha 2 becomes 0 if he won't give the value of alpha 2 in the statement. It is understood that the crank is rotating at uniform speed, therefore by default I can take alpha 2 is equal to 0. If not, definitely it will be given. So omega 2 alpha 2. Omega 2 is equal to pi n by 60 if the speed is given. Directly omega 2 will be given sometimes. Alpha 2 will be given if the crank is at non-uniform speed. If the crank is at uniform speed, alpha 2 will not be given. It means alpha 2 is equal to 0. These are. Next, find theta 3, connecting rod angle. Connecting rod angle theta 3. Next, in velocities, find the angular velocity of connecting rod first, then go to the velocity of the slider, that is VC. Next, remaining in the accelerations, you have to find angular acceleration of connecting rod, then acceleration of the slider. Like that, you must solve. Okay, till tomorrow. In the next class, I am going to solve few more problems on slide crank mechanics. So definitely, students, module 3 is easy because in the velocity and acceleration of mechanisms, as I said in the introduction class, only two mechanisms. What are they? 4-bar mechanism and slide crank mechanism. Any one on which problem and derivation will be given. Therefore, here I am making, compared to 4-bar mechanism, it is 4 links. Here you will find 3 links only. Though it is a 4 links, only coming into the picture is 3 links in case of slide crank mechanism, theta 1, theta 2, theta 3. But if I take the 4-bar mechanism, I am going to get one more, theta 4 also. That is why, so slider crank will be easy compared to the 4-bar mechanism. So I am covering all the slider crank mechanism problems. Only thing is you have to remember 5 formulas. To remember that 5 formulas, you must be thorough with derivation. So derivation will be asked followed by a problem on the same. There is no mixing. Suppose if only problem is asking, he is asking explain the loop closure equation for a slider crank mechanism inline or half side or 4-bar. Like that on simple theory followed by a 12 marks problem. Suppose if he is asking only one for 20, then derivation will be there, problem will be there. Right? Thank you.